Hey, visionaries. So I had the opportunity just to sit down with Candice Nicole, who is a specialized PR publicist. When I tell you in this interview with her, we talked about just branding, simplicity, to even what it means to be a visionary and finding that community that will keep you accountable even during the tough times. So I want to just encourage you to go ahead, one, subscribe to the Vision of a Visionary, which is ShenikaAG. That's me. Subscribe on YouTube, IG, even Facebook. If you haven't checked the Vision of a Visionary on Spotify, I would say go there too and rate us, give us 5 stars. But also just let's get ready for this interview. Tell your friend to tell a friend, tell your mama, your daddy, even let's say your coworker, your crew, and just come together, get your notebooks ready and take notes for this upcoming episode. And thank you so much for tuning in for these couple of seconds and probably minutes. But till next time, visionaries, enjoy the show. Hello, visionaries. I'm here with Candice Nicole. She is an award-winning publicist with over 15 years of experience creating innovative publicity campaigns for talent, businesses, and brands in sectors such as entrepreneurship, B2B, film, tech, nonprofits, and beauty. Her mission is to inspire and empower others through strategic storytelling, media relations, and brand management. She worked with renowned clients including Spike Lee, Wyclef Jean, Tika Sumpter, Musiq Soulchild, as well as small businesses and corporate brands. Her clients have been featured in top outlets like Forbes, The Today Show, BET, Essence, and Women's Health magazine. She's also a creator of Respect The Publicist, a network for PR professionals and journalists. She's a proud graduate of Morgan State University. She holds a certificate in women's entrepreneurship from Cornell University, recognized as a leader in PR, and she's named on one of the HuffPost Top 25 African American publicists inducted into Who's Who in Black Charlotte 2023. She earned a spot on Q City Metro's Power List Black PR Professionals to Know in Charlotte. Her expertise extends social media, marketing, and content creation, allowing her to drive impactful campaigns, and amplify visibility for clients across industries. If you don't know Candice Nicole, then I need you to get to know her, follow her, and all the good things. So Candice, what's your word for 2025?
Simplicity.
Yeah.
Simplicity. Being a new mom, a new wife as well, but
yeah,
really, I feel like the mom, I hate to say this, kind of trumps like the wife portion because that's a whole other person that you're now responsible for, right? And in a marriage, yes, that person, they're already an adult, or yes, you can be responsible for them, but I feel like with this new being, right, they can't do anything for themselves. I was like, I need more simplicity in my life. So I can be a really great mom for my son, but also, be a great mom. I can show up as a great wife just for myself. So yeah, simplicity. And there was another word that it kept on creeping in. Can't think of it now, but I know the number one thing that I said, even in 2024, going into this year, like I need to simplify just a lot of different things. So simplicity is it.
Yeah. How is the practicality of simplicity as a publicist, as a
Yeah.
communicator? Okay.
No, you're fine, you're fine. Basically, what I know a lot of people say, how does that even work, right?
Yeah.
With what you do. And so definitely there will be a lot of, I won't say a lot, but probably for some people hearing about it, learning about it, it will be a lot of changes with CNPR of how we work, who we work with, and because that is going to create that simplicity for my life. So doing more VIP days, like strategy sessions, doing more like event PR. Why? Because those are events. It's April 1st, so we start working on this month, April, and then you wrap it up. And doing trainings. So say
Mhm.
like for nonprofits, for small, medium companies that don't have communication departments, but they know that they want to train their staff on how to engage with the media, but even speaking about the brand itself or the nonprofit itself. A lot of them, if they're at networking events, they really don't even know how to communicate what they do to someone else. So helping them with their messaging. And so kind of, retiring, this is really the first time actually publicly talking about this, retiring some other services. So for anyone tuning in, this is the time to work with us because yeah, in the next like few months, yeah, that's opportunity won't be there
Mhm.
anymore. Have to like really double down. So my workload looks different.
Yeah, I agree. And definitely that workload changes. And as a communicator myself, you have different moving parts always. But you have 15 years of experience in the game.
Mhm,
So tell us a bit more. What is PR?
mhm.
People kind of mix it up with, well, PR is public relations. Let me clarify that. But
Yeah.
people mix it up with marketing to
Mhm.
content creation. But what is PR?
Yeah. So, 17 and a half years of experience, almost 18.
Yeah.
So old. So what is PR? I think the
Mhm.
easiest way, right, for someone when they hear about PR is visibility. Through the various campaigns that you're doing, and not only looking at the route of media relations, right? Is that's what people think when they hear about PR, that it's all about that media interview. And I'm like, no, that's media relations. That's like a, small portion. Like the strategy, there's
Exactly.
certain things that you have to create when it comes to, visibility. Like,
Mhm.
um, even looking at your social media, that is visibility.
Mhm.
Looking at what are you doing with the email marketing, that is visibility. Speaking engagements, that is visibility. Even if someone actually wants to create a podcast themselves, that's another source of, visibility. And then of course, your key messaging. So if you have a personal brand, if you have a nonprofit, so you're working with a PR, a pro, I will call them, that
Yeah.
can help, drill down what are the key messages. Definitely that person that you have that can serve as a liaison if there's any possible
Mhm.
opportunities, like say with partnerships. What is that, you guys? That's visibility, right? Because if you're able to get this partnership with Starbucks, hello, you need to make an announcement. Who's going to make that
Okay.
announcement?
Starbucks,
Is
are you listening?
like is your publicist, right?
Hmm.
So that is visibility. So which that opens up to more opportunities as
Hmm.
well. I totally get it. Of people saying, I want to be seen on CNN. I want to be on Black Enterprise. I want to be on this
Yeah.
podcast. I heard so and so there. Totally get it. But one, not everyone will be interested in your story. Does not mean that it's not worth telling, but it depends on who you're pitching your story to. They may have talked to someone very similar to you. So right now it's not going to work. It's all these different things. That is why, when someone wants to invest in PR, or even someone that wants to get in that space, that's why you have to understand how to communicate certain things to clients and say like, hey, we've been media pitching. What about, and as we're waiting to hear back from individuals, what about starting your own series? Motivational Monday, for 60 seconds, you drop this message. What is that? it's visibility, and it's something that you actually own, that you've created. I could talk about this all day of when it comes to visibility, but that's what it is.
That's true. And it's your brand.
Mhm.
And so, talking more about your brand, Candice, how did you deal with failure and setbacks along your career and now? And like, share with us a time that you just had to overcome that difficult season.
I feel like I'm still in that season, not fully, right?
Mhm.
Because I want to honor God and how He has kept me, but really more so, let's back it up of how He's kept the business, right? So this started, and I wasn't the only one that, felt the tightness and the change. I
Mhm.
would say around like October 2023, right?
I mean,
Uh,
that year, whew.
yeah, yeah, and like towards the end of the year. And
Mhm.
it's a lot of reasons why, but I really think that people ended up on a side of where, okay, so we went through the pandemic, got through that, realized I wasted a lot of money on people who were these pop-up entrepreneurs, pop-up social media gurus, and everything of the sort. And they were running low on money, like for service providers. Like it was, when I tell you, it was so many other publicists, marketing professionals, social media managers, a lot of people like, what's going on? The lead time is a lot longer of getting a response of someone who wants to move forward. So it definitely started then going into, 2024. And that was a lot because at the top of 2024 in February, I found out I was expecting.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're a full-time entrepreneur. It's kind of slow, you're just like making it. How did I, get through that? I definitely had well, my mom, she was, an amazing support. And that was a lot for me because as a full-time entrepreneur, I was also dealing with my nana was very sick and she ended up passing away also in February of 2024. And so I was also dealing with grief at the time where I'm like trying to keep my business afloat, right? So that's a whole other conversation, but I will share that. And then I had a great community of other publicists. Reagan, Sarah, you may be familiar with them. They are phenomenal. They are like my PR besties, hands down. We probably talk like every day in our group chat. And oh my goodness, we were praying for one another. I mean, it was just a lot that went down in our group chat of just trying to keep one another encouraged. A lot of, praying, but also a lot of, all right, you just got to put your head down and just work. I don't know what else to tell you, right? Like I know how to like, as people would say, get it out the mud. Yeah. Like I know that spirit of like the nitty-gritty, like you are in the mud, like just
A grind for you, just
yeah,
like,
that grind. Like,
how do you do that?
are you starving for this? Not are you hungry? Because when you are hungry and the restaurant says, okay, it'll be like a 25-minute wait, you're like, okay, right? But if you go into that restaurant and you're starving and they tell you there's going to be a wait, okay, no thanks, you're going somewhere else. You need
Exactly.
something, to eat, right?
Mhm.
So I had to get back to that starvation mode. Just do what I know best, like show up, like show up on social media, go live and engage with individuals. Just think of new things, starting my newsletter on LinkedIn. So you have to tap into somewhere else. And it's a lot of the situations you have to tap into where you were before, like whenever you started.
Yeah, that default setting, kind of just
Yes,
like,
yes.
where have you started that reset? And then it's like, okay, this is my purest form. I'm gonna show up my purest self. And
And
that's beautiful.
I love what you said, that default. And you guys, you can press that default however many times you want to. Do not let anybody shame you.
Mhm.
You could have started at January 1 and here you go on January 26th and you need to press it again. It's nobody's business but you. No one's going to know it unless you announce it. Okay. But,
How
you
many
just,
times have I rebranded myself more than I can?
yeah, it's like, just do it. Don't pay attention to anyone else because I promise you, they're
Mhm.
not, they are doing what they have to do for themselves.
That's true. That is so true. But also have that community. I enjoy you said you need to have that community.
Mhm. And I feel like a lot of people, and I know it can be a challenge of
Mhm.
identifying a community because of how transparent you need to be within that community. Like there were times where we were crying. I mean, like saying prayers over a voice memo on the phone. We're sharing numbers. Okay. And a lot of people get funny about having to share numbers. What are you charging for this? Well, maybe you should charge this. Maybe you need to go up on this because of XYZ. But I want to encourage people like you will find your person or your people when it comes to your community, even if it's one person that you can confide in and
Mhm.
have very, very transparent conversations. Please do it. I encourage you to do that. And someone within your industry. I'm not saying that others outside would not work, but it hits differently when it's someone in your industry that's like, oh my gosh, I'm dealing with that too.
Ooh, that is really good. Because that's something I needed, right? To make sure that I not only get the mentorship in my industry, but then those that I want to aspire and replicate,
Mhm.
right? Because it's not, honestly, not about competition. It's about collaboration.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and so that leads to my next question about your top three advice to visionaries that want to just engage in that smart strategy.
My top three, you said advice that you said?
Yeah, what are your top three pieces of advice you would share with other visionaries to
Mm.
engage in smart strategy?
I would say always reinvent yourself. Why people don't want to do that. Because here's the thing, I actually feel like that is what has kept me relevant of individuals that are like I'm 41. I graduated
You look
2000.
good. Pause.
Thank
You
you.
look good.
No one ever guesses my age.
Right.
Ever. I graduated college 2007. So to have, graduates that are still finding me on social media, especially when they do come across me on social media, and say, I want to talk to her. When there's others that are what, 15 years younger than me, or even 10 years younger than me, right? That still have a lot of, years in the industry. And, they want to reach out. So I do appreciate that, but it's because I've never been afraid to like reinvent myself. So one, reinventing yourself. Two is anything like with new technology, anything that's like new that's popping up, be open to it. Don't say, oh, I don't need that. Oh, that's going to take away what we do now. Because a lot of people feel that way when it comes to AI. No, no. Once AI was, people were talking about it, but once it started to creep into the communications world, oh, Candice was leaning all the way into it.
I am.
Um,
I'm in the face of one of my projects with AI, and I'm just like, leaning.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
I'm telling everyone, I'm like, don't be afraid of it. Especially now. It's really on a, like, I was looking last night. I follow Suzette. That might be her IG name. She's incredible. She's a Black woman in tech. And she was talking about AI and you need to get certified. And she was talking about Salesforce. Well, hello, you guys. Salesforce, just Google AI certificate Salesforce. They have two like courses there that you can take for free. I know definitely one is for free up until the end of this year, you guys. So that's
Salesforce.
something good.
No, go ahead. Continue.
Oh, so that is something that I'm going to be doing in the next like, coming weeks. They have the information that you can download, you can study and you take your test and then you get this certificate from Salesforce, for when it comes to AI. And I had encouraged people that I said, instead of wanting to turn away from it and say it's going to take our jobs and do all the things, I said, learn more about it and see how it can now complement what we do. It can complement of how we can get our deliverables off, quicker to clients, but then also any like questions that you have that maybe you don't want to ask anybody, you can ask your friend on AI, right? And have this this conversation back and forth.
Mm,
And also, writer's block is a thing. Sometimes you need to type in, this is my idea, like you need to zhuzh up some things. You need to, here's what I have. How can you make this spark or whatever you like with your intro? So that would be two, is being open to new technology. And three is you yourself remain an open book. What I mean by that is being open to talking to others, talking about your story. I mean, you're a visionary, right? You should already want to do this as a visionary. So yeah, be open to that.
that's so good. Hello. You got to remain open, remain transparent.
And that's the thing. I'm like, why not? Like you're a visionary. So I mean, you have to be that way, but you would be surprised of some
Mm,
people that are, quote unquote visionaries, and you're like, but I don't know anything about them. Like, how do they get to this point? Like that is a thing. It's a
mm,
whole thing when people start businesses and they say that they want, brand awareness and everything of the sort. Okay, so you're going to be the face of the,
mm,
no, not going to be the face. So I really don't want to be on the forefront. Can we just do like written? I'm like, what? Why did you even start this business? Like,
mm,
and yes, I know like people have had success with that, but I'm talking about in 2025.
mm.
Like people want to know who you are. They
Yeah.
want to know the story. That actually will make them want to spend more money, when it comes to your products or even your services, what you have to offer is if they know who you are. Like what is your mission? Like
Yeah.
you still need that human connection. So remain open.
Remain open. And so, what does it, this would be one of the last questions, Candace, is what does it mean to be a visionary and just continue to pursue your God-given purpose? What does that mean for you, Candace?
Mm. What does it mean to be a visionary and continue to pursue? Um, Here's the thing. I still feel like I am in a space of identifying like my purpose,
Mm,
right? I know part of my purpose is the storytelling, right? Specifically when it comes to Black individuals,
mm,
right? Is the storytelling. It's a privilege that I get to do that, right? It's a privilege that Black and Brown individuals want to work with CNPR because it's someone that looks like them, right?
mm,
Representation matters. So I know that is, part of my purpose because now that um, becoming a wife and now a mom, I feel like there's something that I haven't even tapped into, especially being a mom, right? Because
sure.
of my, just the talent that I have with storytelling and, okay, how can that exist here of being a mom? Am I going to start something new for moms? Like, what is that? Like who is that I'm talking to,
Mm.
right? So
Be able to embrace a new version of you.
yeah, so that's why I'm like, I feel like I'm in between of what that is. But here's the thing, isn't that what part of like being a visionary is? Like
That's
you
true.
just you have a vision of things. And I would say I know it is very much, I would say, the storytelling. And it's because no matter how I'm trying to create simplicity in my life, I said, I still have to like exist of being able to teach people how to pitch themselves, how to create strategy, because that's a passion of mine. I'm seeing people miss out on really great opportunities because they do not know how to convey like this messaging of who they are, what they do, your mission, and what it's going to be like in the future, right?
Right.
If someone starts to tap into you. So that is a part of it, but like in the middle of it at
Yeah,
41.
and that's a good place
Okay.
too,
Yeah.
just being in the middle of it. And so,
Mhm.
how can people connect with you, Candice, be able to just learn more about you, possibly subscribe to your newsletter? When I tell you her newsletter it's really educational, it's informative, and it comes out pretty regularly. Okay.
Yeah.
Just because of her, and I have some other people, but one particular, because of her, I might just be providing y'all with some new content with the Vision of Visionary. So I'm just saying she is a great mentor resource, but then also someone that you should really have in your corner. So how can people connect with you, Candy?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that because I'll tell this quick story about of why you just need to do it. I've been talking about, and she's talking about my newsletter, Publicist in Your Pocket on LinkedIn, right? It's exclusively on LinkedIn. And new edition will be dropping tomorrow. Like when I tell you my last 2 days have been crazy, but I'm like, Candace, you have to drop it tomorrow. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
But quick story about that is I've been talking about launching this newsletter because I said I haven't even tried on LinkedIn yet. Like I have to, dive into it, drill down and find my audience, my voice, and everything of the sort. And next thing you know, it's like a year and a half goes by, right? And then we're in a hotel over the summer, sitting in bed, and pregnant, summertime, I'm hot. And I said, you know what? Create a graphic. I got the dimensions of like the little newsletter thing in LinkedIn, went to Canva because I know how to use Canva. And
Okay.
I
Well,
together had my idea and I was done with it within like 30 minutes. I repurposed something from my blog on my website that you guys should be doing too. It's great visibility. And I repurposed and I used it as my first like edition on my LinkedIn newsletter. And I said, man, I was so happy when I saw like 10 people became subscribers. Well, the next day it was like 100 more people. By
mhm.
the end of it, it's like, this is crazy. I have like 400, 500, 600, 700. And I was like, this is super incredible. Now we have like over 1,100 subscribers. So I'm saying all this, you guys, and I was kind of like documenting it on Threads because I also was like encouraging people, just do it. Okay, just do it. It took me 30 minutes. I talked about this for a year and a half, and it took me 30 minutes to launch this, press send, and then bloop, it was telling everyone on LinkedIn that Candace has a newsletter. Do you want to subscribe? Okay. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I think it's under Candice Nicole,
Mhm.
with an I. But it's called Publicist in Your Pocket. We'll be launching something else later on under that name as well. And Candice Nicole PR, everywhere you can find us. If anyone says, I can't find you, you really did not get on Google and search. But on
Yeah.
IG, at Candice Nicole PR, send a voice memo on DM if you want to. Yeah, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Candice, for
Yeah.
this interview and for everything, and just continue to set the stage and represent for brown, right?
Mhm.
Any minority, diversity, inclusion, and everything. So I appreciate you, Candice, and
Thank you, Shanika. Like, I really appreciate this. This is a great conversation. And as I was telling her before, you guys, I love podcasts. I feel like, with podcasts, you can go a little deeper, with your questions and you can just have a really good, authentic conversation and not worry about, is this the politically correct thing to
correct.
say? Right? And I know you know about that, right?
Mhm.
But I love the space of podcasts. So thank you so much for having me.
Okay, till next time.